Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris Irving representing the West Coast today because that's where I wish I was, on the West Coast. I'm not down with the East Coast so much. Well, I guess this is the Southeast Coast, which I really hate. It's not even the coast, but I really hate where I live right now, so I'm planning on moving to maybe Arizona, New Mexico, California, Nevada, just someplace out west. Because I lived out west for several years when I was a child and I loved it. Not so down with all the southern hospitality and southern two-facedness here. So anyway, this video is going to be all about the basics of Kratom. You know, like why we take Kratom, how we take Kratom, what Kratom is, what kind of person takes Kratom. So let's start with the who. The who is generally people that take Kratom are people that want to alleviate chronic pain without using harmful narcotics and opiates that are highly addictive. Instead, we use Kratom, and let's go jump back a bit. There's been a little debate on the comments again on how to properly say Kratom, or whatever, and it's potato, tomato, tomato. It's whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't offend me in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's however I particularly say Kratom just because it's stuck in my throat that way. Because when I was speaking to the Indonesians about getting my share of Kratom to sell over on the East Coast, they called it Kratom because that's the way they say it in their native Indonesian language. And even in Vietnam, it's called Kratom. So that's just the way the natives who actually pick it and invented it or found it call it. And who am I to change what they did or how they call it? I mean, some people call it Kratom, some people call it Kratom, some people call it all kinds of crazy shit. That leaf that tastes like dirt. So what is Kratom? Kratom is basically a leaf from a tree. It's a tree, a special tree that's in the coffee family. Like the coffee family is a bush. Well, this is a tree that grows these magical leaves on it that are filled with an alkaloid. An alkaloid is the basic building blocks of the leaf. And these alkaloids are called 7-hydroxymitrogena. And they basically bind to your opiate receptors in your brain, tricking your brain into thinking that you're on an opiate. Therefore, it's a natural pain reliever. No addiction, no harmful side effects, I mean, you do get the euphoria from it, but it's a mild euphoria, generally. And so that was who, what, and why. And how we take it. There's several different ways of consuming Kratom. My favorite way is in a tea. I love Kratom tea because I can generally tell how much I need throughout the day. You know, if I feel like I'm not getting enough pain relief, I'll take another cup and add a little bit more of Kratom to it. Maybe a little less sugar, a little more Kratom. And there's different strains of Kratom. A strain is basically, if you look at this leaf over here, you'll see a vein that goes right down the center of the leaf, and that vein is a color. You know, you'll see it being a red color like in this situation. And red does certain things for you. Red is a very good analgesic pain reliever, and red is also very good at euphoria. It's my favorite, red from Bali, because it's just, for me, it's a strain that does a lot of good. Another strain is green. If you look at a leaf and it's got a green vein going down the center of it, that green vein gives you energy and gives you a stimulant, so it's a stimulant like coffee is, and it also causes euphoria, and it's got an analgesic pain relieving response to it as well. I don't think it's as good as a red, but when I mix a green and a red together, which you can do with strains to make them more personalized towards your personal experience. So how much do we consume? Basically, in my tea, I put 5 grams, which is basically a tablespoon, and I'll scoop a level tablespoon, put it in my cup, and I'll take about 15 grams of honey and put it in there to sweeten it up because it tastes terrible by itself, and then I'll sip it throughout the morning like I would a cup of coffee. And instead of coffee, or I'll mix it up and have a cup of Kratom and a cup of coffee, because together it's like the ultimate stimulant, and it wakes me up. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning every day just because that's my habit since I had my stroke of when I wake up. And so for me, I drink it from 3:30 to about 7:30 or 8:30 in the morning, waking up. It's my breakfast and partially my lunch, because I'll keep drinking it throughout the day. Whenever I feel like I need my shoulders to not hurt so bad or my knees not hurt so bad, I'll drink another cup of Kratom. And what are some of the side effects of Kratom? That's what a lot of people want to know. There's several side effects. They're not horrible. They range from shitty to this sucks, but not, in that continuum, of course. But the worst side effects is that if you drink a lot of the powder, like if you take it in a toss and wash, which is another way to take it, which is basically taking a teaspoon of Kratom, chucking it down your throat, and then following it up with some orange juice, chocolate milk, or some other your drink of your choice. And that powder, when it gets into your bowels, tends to absorb all the water and hydration in your bowels, which makes your bowels sticky and causing constipation. Sometimes it can be severe constipation. It's been so bad with me sometimes that I've had to I went to the hospital because of it once, because it was 3 weeks between bowel movements, and that's not normal. So they weren't going to give me a colonoscopy, which I took the drink home that they give you before a colonoscopy, and I downed it, and then I realized what a colonoscopy was, and I was like, oh no, I'll get rid of this stuff myself. And I did several enemas and the colonoscopy pre-drink, and cleared myself out. Then I realized a way to avoid that is to go a week on, a couple of days off, a week on, a couple of days off, until at least I have a bowel movement, and then back to business again, and just kind of repeating that cycle every, a week on, a couple of weeks on, a couple of days off. Sometimes if it gets really bad, I'll take a month off and just deal with the pain. And that's another thing. When you're not on it, you feel those pains and aches a lot more, just like you would if you were on an opiate and just stop taking them all of a sudden. You would feel every ache and pain you feel, because Kratom does a really good job of numbing your body and mind. Another bad thing that it does is it's a diuretic, so it causes you to pee about 500 times in an hour. But beyond the movement of things into your body, the side effects are very lack of pain, lack of fatigue, more energy. It's just an all-around better experience. And so that's basically the who, what, when, where, why, and how of Kratom. And if you have any questions about it, throw them in the comments, and I try really hard to get to every single comment if I can. It's usually not all at one time, because I'm getting quite a few subscribers now, which is awesome. I need more subscribers. So if you're watching this and you want to know anything about Kratom, I post videos every day on Kratom, and different useful things that I find, because I've been using it for about 7 years now, and daily. And I buy from several different vendors. What's a vendor? A vendor is a person who sells it online, and that's the best way that I find to get it, is online, from an online vendor. Put in your credit card number, and they send you a kilo. For a kilo, which is about 2.2 pounds, you can get a kilo for an average of $50, which is pretty good, because when I first started drinking it, it was kind of hard to get for under $100 a kilo. I was paying $125 for just a pound of it. So you can... Oh, fuck. Sorry. Sorry about that. I thought I went this whole entire video without my microphone, which I didn't. But it's so well camouflaged that I didn't even see it, hidden behind the dark black brim of the hat and my little cord going across the board. But I thought had to make the whole video all over again, which was going to bum me out. So anyway, in conclusion, Kratom is for people that want to avoid chronic pain and want something else other than coffee. And it's a great social lubricant because it loosens you up and gives you a little more... It gives you a nice little buzz sometimes if you haven't built a total tolerance to it yet. Some tips and tricks with it is, if you do take the powder in any way, shape, or form, make sure you put citric acid in it, which is like lime juice or lemon juice, because that really gives it that extra kick that it needs. It needs that juice to bind to the alkaloids in the Kratom and let it stick to you in your brain. Well, I've super simplified that very neurological state of mind, But anyway, it allows it to bind to the receptors in your brain that absorb the opiates and the narcotics and all the stuff like that. But it's not an opiate or a narcotic. You can test clean for opiates, I believe. So in the last studies I've read, some other tips and trips. Another trick is to not take the same strain all the time. If you find one that you like red, and you take red every single day, you're going to build a tolerance to that red, so you're going to have to mix it up a little bit. And if you only have 2 strains and you want to mix it up to a 3rd strain, mix those 2 strains together and see. I mean, you can do that with white and green makes black, red and green make black. And if you mix white and green together, you get a really powerful Mangda. And if you're searching for it and you find it online and you want to buy it, what is Dragon? Dragon is basically where it was found in Vietnam, I believe, where the soil is very full of that Mitragyna speciosa, and it's just really a really healthy, strong strain. And then a Mangda is found in. It's a green strain found in the mountains of Vietnam. A Bali strain is found in Bali, and an Indo strain is found in Indonesia, which is the primary place where 90% of our kratom comes from, because they're the most. It was illegal in Vietnam for a long time because it was taken away from the opiate trade in Vietnam. Go figure. It helps heroin addicts, and it helps you withdraw. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.